Hi, everybody. Dave Clark from InspectCheck-net. Today, I just saw the title to this video. We talk about foundation failure all the time as home inspectors. One of the things that we look for, it's probably one of the most important things that we look for sure. And what we see, go to a lot of home inspector meetings and that people talk about block and terracotta failing and brick and all that. Got it. But some of the same conditions can apply to concrete. So we know that poured concrete is probably about 8 times stronger than block, unless of course it's cord and rebarred, but for the most part, it's stronger than block. I know some people may take issue with that, but it is, if it's done right. But we see failures in concrete. And one of the things that we talk about is the house sinking, right? Or so we need helical piers and things like that, the house settling. But as far as the house bowing or lateral force or failing in that way, we don't see a lot of that. At least some people don't see a lot of it. We see it in this area for sure. But I wanted to share this with you because it seems like in even the last couple of videos I uploaded, we saw some repairs that were done on block walls. But what about concrete? Can concrete fail that way, and how would you report on it? The reporting is pretty straightforward, but can we see concrete failing in that way? And I want to share my screen with you, and the answer is yes. Let's take a look here. I'm going to make it, I don't even have to make it a little bit bigger. This is a poured wall. This is, I'm going to say, when I say modern construction, people laugh at me. I'll say within the last 40 or 50 years, because a couple things that lead you to believe that: the size of the windows. We see we got you got a steel I-beam, which again, a lot of the older construction are wood. A lot of the older windows are much bigger. You could see the forms in here. This is not an old house. But take a look at this one, huh? So it's very obvious what's happened here. This horizontal crack going through here. Again, is that the weak point? Well, we always say in a house, right, the weak point is the center. So the center of the basement, which is probably right about here, and then the center of the wall, which is right about here. In this case, it doesn't really matter, but you could see how the cracks go, and then they get a little bit smaller as they get to the end because the other wall comes into it, to this wall, and actually makes it stronger. It buttresses it, for lack of a better word, and makes it stronger. But this is definitely the weakest part of the wall all in through here. And we could see what happened. This is, pretty extensive damage. You don't really need to be a home inspector to see that. In this case, right? In this case, we're not going to recommend carbon fiber repair. We're not going to recommend a steel I-beam. An earth anchor, I mean, maybe an earth anchor, we put them in place here to try to pull that. Don't have a lot of faith in that, but I think it could, that's what the engineer might take a look at. Possibly that might work. Really, in this case, rebuilding the wall is probably the best option, because even with an earth anchor, you start pulling this. Look at the damage that's here, and I'm going to show you more from this house. It's amazing the catastrophic failure this house experienced. And what do we see? That's right, my friends, water, even from this penetration, all this is water coming in. So it still amazes me after all these years, the geostatic and hydrostatic pressure causing this much damage. It's hard to believe, right? That just water and soil could do this. You would think it got hit by a Mack truck or something, but it didn't. But let's take a look. Let's take a look at this one. How did this happen? Here you go. Same house. And one of the things we talk about, and when we talk about cracks, are that the wall is going to move at both ends of the cracks. In other words, so, and we also talk about mirror cracks. So it's kind of twofold. This is that horizontal crack coming. Oops, I got the wrong color. This horizontal crack coming from the other side. That's that long wall. And we see it's buttressed here by the other wall. So it tends to taper off, right? Well, this normally wouldn't go all the way through, but it can. But usually it tapers off. But what this will tell you is these are mirror cracks, and this is the same on the other side. So a mirror crack is simply what it is. It's here, and it's here, and it's the same on the other side. So it's what's happening is this section of wall is moving. So, this entire section here is moving all the way through. So a wall is going to move at either we're at each crack, right? So it's going to move in both places. So pretty rough shape. I want to show you this last one, and here we go again. This is the other side now, and this is the other mirror crack, right? So when you see mirror cracks, pay very close attention. And this is the other corner. And we see that we've got spray foam in there that we know will definitely stop this wall and shore it up. No, only kidding. They tried to repair that. We could see it quite plainly. So again, a mirror crack and a horizontal crack, big problem. So if you see, even if you see a crack, let me do this. Let me do it in black. You see a crack coming down this wall and it goes this way, we'll say, and then it runs along the basement floor, which we won't be able to see, and then comes up on the other side. There's a chance that that house could be breaking in half. So pay attention to these mirror cracks, because if you see this, and like we saw the one on the other side, that's going to indicate where the wall is moving. So in this case, it's very clear to see this mirror crack here, and then the previous picture I showed you, this whole section is moving. Again, this is an extreme case, so it's really not difficult to determine that, but pretty obvious what's going on here, right? So I just wanted to show it to you because I've heard a few inspectors say, well, we see these failures on block walls, brick walls, terracotta, but we don't really see them a lot on poured or concrete, and especially newer poured. So this is the newer construction, where some of the older concrete, right, it's cold pour, where you see the lines in here. They're not horizontal lines, but they do a cold pour. So they pour some concrete, then they come back around and they pour some more concrete. And that's prior to this. This is actual formed wall and poured in. So what happened? It's the amount of force. The outside grading and drainage is poor here. I'm not going to get into that, but pretty bad shape. So how would we report on this? Again, sometimes, doing inspections, it's a lot easier to report on a catastrophic failure than it is at something that's, kind of in that gray area. But we go to structure, and we don't have to put, we don't have to fill out everything. I just want to show you how we could see it. So we don't have a limited view. We got a great view. It's definitely concrete. And the basement is a full perimeter in this case. And we entered. Maybe with a hard hat. No, I'm only kidding. And the conditions, again, we really need to worry about common cracks. There are some of them. There are some minor angle cracks, some spalling for sure. I would probably note spalling just so I could reinforce the point that there's a moisture issue. Patching, repair, not really. The repairs they had there are nothing. But we got horizontal cracking inside. We've got buckling. We note from inside and outside. And we're going to just take that out because we were working on this report before. So it's not very minor. This can be a potentially serious condition that can cause catastrophic failure to all or part of the foundation or structure. Recommend immediate evaluation by a structural engineer in areas. Oops, again, that's from before. Okay, by a structural engineer. Bowing external, same thing. Settling, I'm not sure that the wall was actually settled, but we definitely had some horizontal cracking. We can see what that says. It says when a wall begins to bow, horizontal cracks may appear. Even small horizontal cracks indicate a serious structural problem if not addressed. Recommend immediate evaluation by a structural engineer. So that's what we're going to do. And we hope that our client heeds that. As far as moisture, I guess one of my concerns here is, we've already figured out that there's a problem. I guess what one of my concerns is, there's got to be a moisture problem, right? There's, again, hydrostatic, geostatic combination. So I would probably put considerable water and maybe evidence of additional drainage is needed, recommend evaluation, and I would probably put, and moisture was noted everywhere, right? And I would put due to wall or foundation wall, maybe wall failure, because now I'm saying, well, look at, this is what happened. Same thing with considerable spalling. There was a lot of spalling on those walls, indicating that there's a whole lot of moisture behind there. So I just wanted to show that to you. I know that not everybody has seen that, especially some of the newer inspectors have not seen an actual poured wall with modern construction fail, especially to that degree. But you know, you have to take heed when you look at something like this. It didn't start out that way. That didn't just happen overnight. It slowly started occurring. Those horizontal cracks started out as very small, and nobody did anything about it. You know, the draining, the drainage and the grading around the house, horrible. Everything sloped towards the house. It's at the lower end of subdevelopment. You know, everything is indicating there's going to be a problem. There is a sump pump and drain tiles. They look like they were open. I don't know what the issue was. It could be clogged or damaged or collapsed. But when those cracks started appearing, that's when somebody should have started taking action. And that's one of the great things about a home inspection. You know, obviously, if we see the foundation in the condition that it's in right now, you know, it's over, right? The horse has left the stable. However, if as a home inspector we come in and we're just starting to see the beginnings of these, we can advise our client. They can get ahead of it because it didn't start out that way, and they could do whatever they need to do, whether it's drainage or whether it's reinforcement, you know, whatever action they need to take before getting to this point. And now they've got to this point, and you know, it's too late. It's got to be replaced. So I hope that helped you out a little bit. I just wanted to show you that major failure, and so keep doing a great job out there. When you find these smaller cracks that indicate that there's an issue, and we'll do some more videos on cracks that are just beginning. Point them out and let your client know they need to get ahead of it. Don't just put your head in the sand and say, well, it's going to be okay. It's a concrete wall. What's going to happen to it? Well, you just saw that. So hope to help you out a little bit. Please subscribe as we get these videos out. You'll be the first one to get them when that happens. And we got a lot more coming. We're probably going to get at least one out a week, if not more. And you can also go to homeinspectortrainingonline.com. We've got some great white papers and other resources there to help you out there in the field. So until next time, have a great day.